Alrighty then, it's time for a Dr. Mundo game, and this one is after receiving his buff. Which one? And it's been quite a lovely buff. It's not insanely overpowered, but it's one buff that I mentioned in my last video that he needs. He needs a little bit more oomph to his abilities. Mostly since in team fights he can't really use his cleaver reliably because it's easy to block. So now with his E, he's able to chunk down his target just a bit more. And in duels and in ganks, he's able to chunk health as well. You'll see that in a few of the ganks I pull off. I actually get to destroy Caston a few times with just headbutting him. It's quite enjoyable. Anyways, Magic Pen Reds, Armor Yellows, Magic Resistance Blues, and I believe I had some ability power, I don't know. Thing is, on this account, I don't have the super specific Mundo runes, so the only thing I have to cheese his early sustain is the Masteries, which were 0, 17, and 13, taking defensive masteries all the way to the health regeneration ones, and the utility one, I get Spell Vamp, potion duration, and an extra potion, which means I get extra gold, so I start off with 3 potions. After your first clear, your sustain pretty much kicks up, so it's not as big of an issue. Here I pull off a gank against Caston because he's pretty much just pushed forward, and it's pretty much really hard to fuck this up. He was pretty much just asking to die. Anyways, Dr. Mundo, you can with his new E to his new buff to his E, you can actually build him damage if you want. You can go with the Titanic Hydra, Sterox Gauge, and all that other stuff, and just start chunking people down occasionally by headbutting them. In fact, some people I know have been maxing out E first instead of Q or W, depending on which one you prefer, of course, and they've been able to, slaughter people. I don't really recommend that because it's really easy to work around Mundo's damage with a lot of champions. So I still prefer going the tanky health tank with and just focus on poking and harassing and being a giant menace. And of course I took exhaust again because I don't really need flashes Dr. Mundo. If they're focusing me and they're trying to chase me down or pin me down, it's going to be really hard and they're just going to waste their time. Watch this, I actually enjoy this. I go in, can't really gank Cassidon, so it makes it very clear that Gragas is right here because Cassidon is approaching me, so I turn around and just charge at him before Gragas even appears. I exhaust him a little too late, so I could have avoided some damage, but I survive with a sliver of health, and I level up, so I'm able to use my ultimate and heal myself back up. Gragas fucks up real bad, I don't know what he was trying to do, but he ends up getting killed as well, so I get a double kill right there. I think I should have only gotten the kill on the Cassidon, and the Gragas should have just bailed, but he got greedy and got punished for it. Now, I've had a lot of issues trying to explain to people as to why Dr. Mundo is a good champion. He's out of meta right now, okay? He's a meta-prone champion. He's one of those champions that really depends on the environment he's played in. In the metas that are right now, he's not really that great. He excels in metas that are either super sped up, so you need to just grab as much gold as you can before level 6 and then head off and start fighting, or in siege metas, because he's one of the few champions that can, or junglers I mean, that can poke. Like, that's a very rare trait. There's a lot of junglers who can't technically poke, but it's really weak or really inefficient. Like Maokai, he can poke by throwing his children at people, but you don't really max out your E as Maokai, so your seedlings are always going to be really bad. You don't really build that AP as him either, so you're not really going to be dealing any damage. The only one that comes close to possibly replacing Dr. Mundo as a go-to poking champion is probably Nidalee. And then even then, it will be a toss-up between if you want a beefcake or a nuker when you want your poking. Anyways, Dr. Mundo. Again, most of his team fighting or anything is brute forcing. He can't make plays. He just runs up to people and starts smacking them around. And if they try to focus me, they pretty much get punished because they can't do shit. Here, I probably should have focused on the enemy Jinx because it sort of results in Lucian dying. Although we do end up getting the Gragas kill, I believe. Yeah, we get the Gragas kill and we get the Thresh kill, and then we get the Jinx kill. So we sacrifice Lucian to be able to do more damage to Gragas and have him actually be murdered. So we traded 3 for 1, and then Cassidon shows up and equalizes the whole thing. So it's not as big as a swing as we wanted to. Now, Dr. Mundo, another problem that exists for him is that people just don't understand how to play him. Like, it's one of those sort of unfortunate things that happens to older champions in which they don't have the incredible playing skill, or they're not flashy or any of that kind of stuff. So players get bored just looking at the champion, and they don't really understand the nuances to the champion's kits or the strengths to it. Like, I've had people, when I've played Trundle or someone Dr. Mundo, very classic, very boring kit kind of champions, they will run up to me and die in a very embarrassing fashion. They will yell at me during champion select for making a pick for making the pick to get Mundo or Trundle, and then when they see that I picked them into the right composition and it's working out so well, they shut up or don't say anything anymore. In this case, Dr. Mundo, I just kind of played him because I wanted to play him. He's one of my actual favorite junglers to play because, look at this. This is what I mean that Dr. Mundo can do. I'm just spamming cleavers. They can't approach me because they're going to get smacked by a cleaver and they're just going to pretty much waste their time. If they try to focus me to try to punish me, I'm just going to run away and they're going to waste their goddamn time. This game showcases just kind of what Dr. Mundo does. He destroys big-ass monsters. He cleaves them to hell and back. He builds... with just a few items, you become nearly unkillable. I know I have 5 kills, but I haven't actually cashed in the items. I've been walking around with a Cinder Hulk and the Kindle Gem and whatever that other cloak is, and I just haven't been able to. I still haven't, been weakened or dying or anything. Dr. Mundo is just, again, the definition of a beefcake. Just go in there, tank towers, take as much damage as possible, and pretty much make them regret focusing you, but at the same time, make them have to focus you. Especially with the E buff, you're able just to chunk down any target you see. You can take these very quick shots at them, walk up to them, smack them with your E. If they retaliate, then your teammates use that time to jump the enemy team because, again, focusing you tends to be really stupid. So yeah, Dr. Mundo isn't a tank. He's this amalgamation of a fighter and a bruiser. He's the kind of champion that... He's not the type of champion that runs in there and fights. He's the type of champion... Well, he technically does run in there and fight, but he's the type of champion who picks the fights to go in crazy. He doesn't just, fight happens, let's go in. He's the one who will whittle down. He'll see the direction he has to take. He'll see that line, run through it, and just penetrate through. Like here, I'm just whittling down at the Jinx and the Kassadin. Again, they can't really do anything because focusing me is stupid, and they can't get close because my cleaver spam will just wreck them. But the second I see my opportunity to go in, because Kassadin blinked in for some damn reason, I just decide to go ham, pop my ultimate, and remember, I've been tanking this tower the entire damn time, and my teammates follow through. I didn't even come close to dying. If they turned on me, I would have popped an exhaust. They would have not been able to kill me with one full blow. One full rotation, and my teammates would have blown them up. This is the strength of Dr. Mundo. He becomes this huge aggro magnet that you can't punish for his craziness. There is a such thing as quote-unquote aggro tanking, in which you're just this big threat that you need to be that needs to be taken care of, but focusing you is a really negative thing. Think of champions like Olaf. Olaf would run in there. You can't CC him, even if his damage isn't as great as the enemy Jinx or even the enemy Vayne, you might actually have to take him down because there's nothing you can do. So all your damage is focused on the Olaf, and then the Vayne that you couldn't focus will start tearing your team to pieces. That's what an aggro tank is, and that's what Dr. Mundo has classically been. Again, not really a tank, but this kind of weird hybrid of things. Here we foolishly chase after the Kassadin, and we leave the Nami to die. She's actually cursing at us while she's trying to run. And goes, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And yeah, thinking about it, we probably shouldn't have let her die. So Gragas dies. We go against the Renekton. He obviously goes over the wall. We should have, not been stupid. So it's up to me and the Olaf to break the rest of them. Olaf has been running a goddamn freight train on the enemy team, so coincidence again that he's also an aggro tank, and he's also one of those champions that's just kind of really bad to focus, but you kind of do need to focus him at times. So because they didn't focus him early or didn't focus him properly, he was able just to destroy a lot of their team. And now he's kind of snowballing the hell out of this game in his favor. He's got a very damagey build too, so props to him. I guess he knew that I would also be taking the aggro from the enemy team. The Renekton rage quit. It's fine though, as you can see we already kind of took control of this game. Me and Olaf are two insanely massive front line that we have that really can't be stopped. So Jinx is pretty much going to be killed in every single chance she gets. The enemy focuses me, and as you can see, achieves absolutely nothing with that. I didn't even pop my ult until then. So now the second that I can turn the tables on them, I of course pop it, run at them, destroy the hell out of the Jinx, and I'm not even close to dying. Thresh gets bubbled. I run in there. I'm going to tank the tower, I believe, for a little few shots. No. I turn on the Gragas instead, and then I tank the tower. It's just, look at this. This is the kind of bullshit that Dr. Mundo was able to pull off. And yes, I gave him a B rank, and B rank is where he's supposed to be. That means the champion is prone to meta shifts. Right now, he's definitely out of meta, so he's not really a good pick unless the compositions in both sides of the teams, both teams, sort of fits what he should be. In this case, I just kind of took a fart in the wind and decided to go with Mundo, because I really wanted to play him and I wanted to try the new headbutt, which again I've been saying is really, really fun to use. It's just a big ass little burst of damage, and it worked out because again the enemy team really doesn't have the kind of kits and damage to destroy Dr. Mundo. Look, I don't give a shit about this tower. I don't care about these other towers. I tanked that tower. I tanked this tower enough to kill the Thresh and enough to kill the Gragas, and then eventually die. I love Dr. Mundo. Now you get to pull out this kind of crazy shit, and I only had 3 items. Of course, I was fed, but again, 3 items is pretty huge for dealing all that damage and being that tanky. So ready for Mundo.